Director Smith, we can get started, please.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and call roll.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Did we say that this is the January 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting and public hearing? Okay, well, okay, I didn't hear her say it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the roll. Commissioner Fields, Mark Fields,
Here.
Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Stiles,
Present.
Commissioner Joel Presley, Commissioner Anderson,
Here.
Commissioner Chapman,
Present.
Commissioner Joseph Fields,
Here.
and Commissioner Levitt. You have a quorum.
Present, thank you.
If we can put the agenda on the screen, perfect.
We have gone through the call of order and the roll call of commissioners, and now we will ask Director Smith if there is any old business.
The old business that we have is for you all to approve your December meeting minutes.
Do I hear a motion to approve minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. That was approved by Commissioner Fields, Joseph Fields, and second by Commissioner Chapman. All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The motion passes. Thank you. Director Smith, would you please call our first case?
Thank you. In reference to new business, item number 1, case number P2024RZ-001-12. The applicant is Cody Snyder. The property is located at 0 East Woodbury Avenue. Case type is a rezoning. This particular case, the applicant has requested a withdrawal.
We'll wait for Attorney Wiggins. Attorney Wiggins, the applicant is withdrawing case number P2024RZ-001-12. Do we need a motion, or do we need to hear from the applicant?
Actually, Madam Chair, what we first need for you to do is read the rules of public hearing, because this withdrawal came after the advertisement. We will open the public hearing, see if anyone's here, and then you'll close it, and then you can get a motion from your board on whether to honor the withdrawal. But we will need the rules of the public hearing read first.
Okay, thank you so much. And can we hear the rules of the public hearing? I do not have a copy. Thank you. I realized that late this evening I didn't have a copy, but thank you.
Before adopting any change to the zoning maps or the text of the zoning ordinance, as you know, the Planning Commission will hold a public hearing prior to making any recommendations or votes on variances to the City Council. The presiding officer will call for a motion to open and close the hearing. The presiding officer or his or her designee, who we know as Mrs. Smith, will introduce the proposed zoning amendment before the Planning Commission. Staff will then be called upon to present the Planning Commission's recommendation and summarize the staff's report. Persons both favoring and opposing the proposed amendment will then be provided an opportunity to address the Planning Commission. The applicant for the proposed amendment or the applicant's designated representative, if any, will be entitled to speak first, followed by other speakers in favor of the proposal for a total of 15 minutes. Those who oppose the proposed zoning amendment will then be permitted to speak for a total of 15 minutes. By majority vote of the commission, you may increase the total time for speakers provided that each side is given the same amount of time. If there is more than one speaker for a side, the presiding officer may limit the time allotted to each individual speaker, other than the zoning applicant. The zoning applicant may reserve a portion of his or her time allotted for rebuttal. Speakers must adhere to the rules of decorum. Prior to speaking, each speaker shall identify himself or herself and state his or her current address. Each speaker shall speak only to the merits of the proposed zoning decision under consideration, shall address remarks only to the commission, and shall refrain from making personal attacks to any other speaker. The presiding officer may refuse a speaker the right to continue if, after first being cautioned, the speaker continues to violate the rules of decorum. Madam Chair, you can call for a motion to open the public hearing on our first case.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
It has been motioned by Commissioner Chapman and second by Commissioner Markfields to open the public hearing. All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
Opposes?
Madam Chair, before you do that, since you did get a motion to open the public hearing, let's see if anyone is here to speak in favor or against Zero Ace Woodbury Avenue, and the application is for rezoning.
Thank you. Is there anyone here to speak for or against case number 32024RZ-001-12, and it is at 02 East Woodbury Avenue? Anyone here for or against? No one is here.
I think then it'll be appropriate to get a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay.
I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
I think it was Commissioner Joseph Fields.
All those in favor, close the public hearing. Let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The motion passes. Thank you.
And then now, Madam Chair, given, I'll let Ms. Smith talk about the withdrawal.
Staff supports the request for the withdrawal. The applicant has submitted a new application, and it will be coming back to this body next month.
Thank you. I do want to ask the board if there are any question of Director Smith on this particular case. Is that appropriate?
Madam Chair, so when you get your motion and your second, then you'll call for discussion,
Okay.
and then that will be the appropriate time.
At this time, is there any discussion from the board?
Let's get a motion first, a motion to accept the withdrawal.
Okay, motion to accept the withdrawal.
Motion to accept the withdrawal.
Commissioner Chapman? Do
Second.
I get a second? Commissioner Fields? All those in favor, let
Any
it be known by
discussion?
the word aye.
Any discussion?
Any discussion? Now we can have discussion if there are any, if there's any. All those in favor, let it be
I
known
have
by
a
the word
question.
aye. There is no discussion.
Well, I
Let-
think Commissioner Fields says he has
Yeah, I
a
have
question.
I have a question.
I'm
to
sorry.
discuss. I'd like to know, what reason did the applicant give to want to withdraw? that he doesn't have? What information is he planning to bring forth to make a difference here?
The applicant submitted a rezoning request to rezone the property to MXI, and it was his intent to request a rezoning of MXCI,
So he wants to go to commercial.
mixed-use commercial industrial.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Fields, does that answer your question?
Yes,
Thank you. May we get a motion to accept the withdrawal? All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
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 Opposes? No opposes, the motion passes. So we are withdrawing P2024RZ-001-12. Director Smith, the next case, please.
The next item under new business, item number 2, case number P20240U-001-12. The applicant is Neil Morrison. The property is located at 1388 Watley Avenue. The applicant is requesting a use permit for a habitable accessory structure pursuant to Section 10-2130. Case type is a use permit.
Thank you. Do we not call for the applicant?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing.
I move we open the public hearing.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Motion to open the public hearing. All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
aye.
Opposes? No opposes. The motion passes. Is the applicant present? 1388 Watley Avenue. Please come forward. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Do you need my presentation?
Yeah.
I sent it to you.
You may now state your name and address.
Oh. Neil Morrison, address is 1388 Wadley Avenue.
Thank you, and you may go into your case. You may present.
Just one second.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and make the presentation for you. So this case is for 1388 Wadley Avenue. It's a use permit for a habitable accessory structure. The applicant seeks a special use permit to establish a habitable accessory structure on the R1A urban residential zone property. And this is our staff's recommendation. I'm sorry?
You may let the applicant speak to present his case.
Yes. Okay.
Are you able to put up the
I
slideshow?
don't have access to it.
Okay. All right. Well, good evening. Yes, so I am applying for a special use permit to add an accessory dwelling unit. This is my primary residence. I have a detached garage on my primary residence. I am applying.
State your name and address.
I did, but I'll state it again. Neil Morrison. My address is 1388 Wadley Avenue, East Point. The application is for special use permit for an accessory, habitable accessory structure. Basically a carriage unit on the top of my detached garage.
Thank you. You may continue.
Okay. The square footage of the unit is 365 square feet. That's for the accessory dwelling unit. The primary house is 1,931 square feet. The height of the primary structure is 25, maybe 27 feet, and the height of the accessory dwelling unit will not exceed 22 feet. Not sure what else I need to touch on, but
Okay, so what we'll do at this point, I think someone is going to get the presentation.
We're pulling it up
oh, great, thank you.
momentarily.
So do we want to just pause? We can just pause until they come back.
Okay.
With your presentation. That will be the fair thing to do. Thank you. Whatever you're comfortable with.
How long is it going to take to get this presentation? Can you email it, sir?
Okay, if you want to start from the beginning, certainly feel free to do that if that gets you back on track.
Sure. All right, thank you. Just click it or something like that? Okay. So as we talked about accessory dwelling unit, special use request, 1388 Wadley Avenue. My name is Neil Morrison. Myself and my wife live at 1388 Wadley. That's our primary residence. Next slide. It's a single-family home, 1,931 square feet. It's got a detached garage. Next slide. The primary residence is 1,931 square feet. There we go. And the height of the existing structure is 25 feet above the ground level. The intended ADU will sit atop of the existing detached garage. The existing garage is 201 square feet and 10 foot above ground level. The total height of the proposed ADU structure will be 22 feet above ground level. The square footage for the ADU is 365 square feet. And there are currently dedicated parking spaces for the ADU. Next slide. So what you have on the screen is a site plan showing the primary residence at the center, and to the left you can see the plan view of the detached garage. Next slide. And this is the architectural elevation of what the detached garage and ADU will look like. The garage is existing, the ADU on top of it is not. Next slide. This is just the notification of the mailers that we sent out as required. Any questions? I think that's it.
Thank you, sir. Commissioners, do you have any questions
Thank you.
of the applicant?
I did.
Okay, Commissioner Chapman.
Yes. Can you just confirm again the height, the total height with the garage and then with the ADU? The total height?
Right.
Your mock-ups here, I can't see the numbers.
Does that blow up on that right side there? Okay. Excuse me.
Go back to the other side.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. All right, currently, and I'm looking at the plan that we showed, but currently the clearance, so when I go to my garage and I open the garage door to the bottom of the ceiling structure is 7 foot. I'm accounting for 2 feet for the ceiling structure, the existing ceiling structure, and the new ceiling structure for the ADU. So that 7 plus 2 is 9. The ADU itself has an 8-foot ceiling height within it. So that's 16 feet. And then the roof will have there's a pitch shown of 12.4, so the 4-foot elevation for the roof on top of the 16 is 20 feet. So in the letter of intent, I state that the ADU structure will be 22 feet above ground level. It will actually be a little below that, but it won't come close to the existing primary house structure.
Okay, thank you. And just the reason why I was asking, because under this, it says it shouldn't exceed 35 feet in height. So I just wanted to make sure manage your expectations
Yes,
when
ma'am.
you start to build the unit out,
Understood.
if we agree.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Do I see another red light? Thank you. So that ends the commissioner's questions. Is there anyone here in favor of this or against the project? Is there anyone here? Okay.
So you can have a seat. We're just going to call everyone in opposition.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there anyone opposing to this project? Is there anyone in opposition? Here and now, we will now close. Motion to close. Commissioners?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Mark Fields put the motion on the floor, and Commissioner Anderson second the motion. All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Hearing none, the motion passes. Staff, what is your recommendation?
Madam Chair, in reference to item number 2,
Director Smith?
Madam Chair, in reference to item number 2, case number P224U-001-12, the applicant Neil Morrison, property located at 1388 Watley Avenue. The applicant is requesting a use permit for a habitable accessory structure pursuant to section 10-2130. Case type is a use permit. Staff recommended approval.
Thank you. Commissioners, you have heard staff's recommendation. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion to approve? Or
Second?
Yes, second.
Commissioner Fields, second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Thank you. The motion passes. Now your application will go to the city council for the next step, but the commission is approved. Thank you. You'll do the whole presentation, everything that you want to present. Thank you. You may be excused, yes. Thank you. Director Smith, may we hear the next case?
Yes, Madam Chair, in reference to item number 2, under new business, case number P2024V-002-11, the applicant Richard Winfrey, property located at 2627 Ben Hill Avenue. Applicant is seeking a variance from the current setback requirements in section 10-2061E to match the current footprint of surrounding homes. Case type is a variance.
Thank you. We will now have a motion to open the public hearing on case number P2024 4V-002-11.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Motion to open the public hearing on P2024 4V-002-11. Is the applicant present? You may come forward. Name and address, please. Okay. Thank you. Do you have a presentation? You have a presentation? You may present.
Okay. It's located in an established neighborhood off of Washington Road. The properties on that particular street, they are actually ranch homes and/or split-level homes that were traditionally brick. You had some homes with siding. The zoning currently, those homes were built years and years ago, and the current zoning in this particular lot, if you take a look at it, the lot has an odd shape to it. So when you look at the current zoning requirements for setbacks front and back, it would not allow us to build anything that's consistent with the current homes that are there. As you can see, there is an existing driveway. There was an existing ranch home on that property at one point that was demolished. Trying to place a home on that lot with the current setbacks put us in a situation where the home would technically, well, basically look out of place with the existing homes. So once we started to do our survey to make sure square footage wise and aesthetics, we saw that this particular request for variance would put the home in a situation that will keep it consistent with the rest of the neighbors. The advantage of this lot, with it being an odd shape, also allows for there to be plenty of room on the side setbacks. So there would be minimum interference with the neighbors on the left or the right of the property. The setback requirements that we're looking to get a variance on are front to back. And it will allow for us to put a structure that is consistent also with the square footage of the existing neighbors, around 1,600 square feet. We will have to go up 2 stories to meet the qualifications, but we would also have a structure that is shaped more similarly to the houses that are existing. We also provided a picture. If you go back into the folder, the second one. So what we are looking to do is not have to build something with the original setbacks that are required at this particular time. We would have to build something similar to the house on the left, which does not at all match the streetscape of what's existing. We also have in our plan to do some brick front to also bring that structure into compliance with what we see in the neighborhood. If we can go to the next picture. Yeah. This is a picture going further down the street on Ben Hill. The structure that we are looking to build would look similar to the first structure you see on the left. That is a split level. We will go up 2 stories, but it will have some matching to that particular structure, which is one of the original structures that was placed in that subdivision. Are there any questions?
Thank you. That ends your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, commissioners, you have heard the presentation. Are there any questions of the applicant?
Yes, I'd like
Mr.
to-
Fields, Commissioner Fields?
Thank you. Do you have any pictures of the lot that you plan to build on and where it's at?
The lot on Ben Hill, we do have, if you, be able to pull that up. Yeah, you can see it there. If you're coming off Washington Road, there's a side street that leads to Ben Hill. The lot is, currently it has a existing driveway that was going into the garage of the structure that used to be there. The house has been totally demolished and removed. There is a house on the corner to the left, and I showed you the street view going down of the houses.
All right, based on the setbacks that you requested, what is the legal setback now on that?
The current setback would be 50 from the front, yes.
Are you looking to do what? How many feet do you
We're looking to take it back 15 feet,
need 15 feet?
yes. Oh, it's 40, it's actually 45, I'm sorry. I thought it was 50.
So if you build it the way the ordinance called for, it would be only 45 feet setback? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, the buildable area would actually be between 10 and 15 feet.
That's what you need to extend.
No, that's what the buildable area would be, based on the current setback requirements for that home. Because it has the odd shape, we have to take the measurements straight, but the way the lot is curved, because of the property's kind of in a curve, the way that lot is curved,
Right.
the setback requirements, if it's drawn properly, it minimized it to the 15 feet
All right, so you have.
of buildable space, meaning front to back for the house.
So the original setback is 50, but the way the structure is, or the way the lot is shaped, and you build a house, you needed a variance of 15 feet.
In the front, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Fields. Is there another question?
I'll just point out, I've got it up on Google Maps on the satellite view. One view in Google Maps shows the house completely demolished, which I'm sure is the case. But if you actually go back and look at the house from a different angle, I guess Google Maps hasn't updated their satellite, so it does show the pre-existing structure. And it does look like the way that it was originally built, they, due to the lot size, it looks like they did have to build the house closer to the street with a lesser setback. And that's just according to the way that the previous structure looks. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions, any other commissioners?
Is there a way to put up Google on your computer so they can see what she's seeing? Is that what you had?
Yeah, and if you take your cursor, and go to the right a bit, keep going. Now you'll see the structure.
That is the side view, right?
No, that's the front.
Coming in off the street, that's the front view?
Yes.
It's boarded up.
Looking at the view, any questions from the commissioners?
I have one.
I do have one from Commissioner Anderson.
Just to be clear, you also need a rear variance as well?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And how much is that one? to
That
be clear?
was 10.
10 feet?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
And from staff, can you give us the front and rear setbacks that we're having to compare? Oh, thank you, Brittany. Miss, would you give it
Yes.
to us?
So currently, in the R1 zone, the front yard setback is 45 feet, and the rear is 30. So he's asking for 15 relief in the front and 10 relief in the back.
Okay, so I know that this has been asked and answered, but in the original, the original house, what was the setback?
The house is no longer there based on the driveway. What we tried to do was match up, the existing driveway is there. So we tried to match up a structure that would be consistent with the previous house. So what we were able to do was to also place a garage to make sure that cars weren't in the driveway and not have enough space to turn and not be an eyesore or be two cars that were not able to fit in the driveway properly, as they probably weren't able to do. The original structure did have a carport. We were able to locate that in the records, the previous records. So in doing that, again, with the odd shape, it gave very little room for a backyard. That's the reason we requested the back variance, to allow space for the backyard. And then also with there being plenty of space on the sides, we looked at the structure to have a deck on the side of the house instead of the back, so that it was existing, or there is backyard once the house is built. So we maximized the side space as much as possible, but still not being at all close to the neighbors on the left or the right.
Thank you. Any other commissioners? Because I have just a couple of questions.
Okay.
And that is the price point on this house as compared to the neighborhood price point.
It is very consistent. We're trying to build something that is, we always try to build something that's consistent with the neighborhood, because we probably wouldn't sell it if we came in with a property that is not consistent with what's there. And that's one of the reasons we, in addition to making sure that we meet the requirements of planning, the square footage, the similarities in the aesthetics, everything that is required to match or average, we did everything within that. Pricing, putting a house in a neighborhood that is much lower is not good for the neighbors, nor good for the person trying to sell it.
Thank you. So the materials that you are using are just only going to complement what's already there? It won't be total brick? Because I'm looking at some of the houses that
Yeah.
are there, they are brick layered, brick homes. And that's not what you're going to do, is that right?
Not total brick, no. It's not feasible in this market.
So
to
tell us-
actually keep the price in line.
Can you
as well.
describe or show us what's brick and what the other material is?
So it'll be a brick water table, similar to the house that was there. It will have a brick water table and siding up at the top level.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any questions from the commissioners? Hearing none.
Yes,
Yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
do you have any architectural drawings or presentations of what you want to put online?
Yes, if you go back to the package. Yeah, turn it. Then go down, I think. Yes.
Can you tell us what we're looking at and where the brick is and where the,
So the brick, excuse me, the brick water table is what you see if you look at the top left picture that comes across the front. The lower level, that's a different color than that top level. That's considered a brick water table. And then the top portion is lap siding that is similar to the siding that is also consistent with the neighborhood.
Commissioner Fields, did that answer your question? Are you still studying the drawings?
I'm sorry, I was still studying the drawing. Is this going to be a two-story house?
Yes.
Two-story. Oh, my question was, is this going to be a primary residence for you, or are you building it for sale?
No, it's being built for sale.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Now we can close the public hearing on. Have you finished with your presentation?
Yes.
Thank you, and you may turn your mic off. Is there anyone here in support of the project? Is there anyone, you may come down and speak. Anyone in favor, you may come down and speak. Or anyone in opposition, you may come down and speak. Hearing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
A motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second that we close the public hearing on case number, I don't have, Director Smith, can you read it? The case number?
Absolutely.
Now I see it, thank you. Case number P2024V-002-11. Any questions? All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The motion carries. Thank you. Director Smith, recommendation please from staff.
Yes, in reference to item number 3 under new business, case number P2024V-002-11, the applicant Richard Winfrey, property located at 2627 Ben Hill Avenue. The applicant seeks a variance from current setback requirements pursuant to Section 10-2061E. Case type is a variance. Staff recommended approval of a variance of 15 feet for the front yard setback, which would make the front yard 30 feet. Staff also recommended approval of the rear yard setback of 10 feet reduction, which will make the rear yard 20 feet.
Thank you, Director Smith. Commissioners, you have heard staff's recommendation. What is your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. Is there any discussion? I'm sorry. Is there any discussion? Please be reminded that you are the final arbiter on this particular case. It will not go before mayor and council. All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
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 Opposes? Hearing none, the motion passes. The variance is approved. Staff?
Yes, I just wanted to make a statement in reference to the architectural questions that were being asked in reference to this case. The applicant has to go through an infill process. It's pursuant to Article J of the zoning ordinance, which requires for him to do a survey. He has to have a community input component. He has to survey at least 12 houses in the front, rear, and side. So based on the makeup of the current materials and architecture of the houses that currently exist, he would have to abide by those guidelines. And so he has to come through that process with our department, and he has to be approved that way. So it's not just what he wants, but he have to abide by the infill guidelines.
Thank you. That concludes our cases, commissioners, and now we have a period of announcements. Are there any announcements?
We have none, but we're gonna be a little bit more organized next time.
I only had one, Madam Chair, and that is I'm going to send out something to get a date based on the parliamentary procedure, a little training that we talked about at the last meeting, to ensure that all the commissioners who want to participate are available, and then it will be for an evening session. And don't forget, staff did say they were going to pay for dinner. And we'll hold them to that.
We got it.
Would that
Thank
be considered
you.
a meeting?
It will be a meeting. It'll be a special call meeting. You don't have it at your regular meeting time.
Okay, that
Thank you.
That's what
Do
that
I hear a
means.
motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. The meeting is now adjourned. Oh, I didn't carry the motion out. All those in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.